Hello, beautiful beings. Welcome to Soul Shift Messages. If you found your way here, trust there's something in this message for you. Understand this space is about growth, truth, and transformation. We don't bypass here, we don't sugarcoat, and not every message will feel comfortable, but it will be honest. I speak in flow, and sometimes that includes cussing. It's just part of how the messages come through. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't, and trust your own discernment above all else. Take a deep breath, and let's begin. If you are new here, please know at this time I create weekly content in 3 parts. Part 1 focuses on what needs to be revealed. Part 2 focuses on what needs to be understood. And Part 3 focuses on what needs to be done. Essentially, what changes do we need to make to embody what we happen to be discussing that week. Based on when you see this video, you will find all available content for this series in the description box below. If you don't see a link, you should see a published date of when to expect it. And I am pretty diligent about going back and updating those dates with links as things become available. So if it's not there yet, just know what's coming. All right. I say all of that to say this is going to be part 2 for this week, and this week's topic is self-worth. I am calling this message, "You were never meant to earn your worth." Let's go ahead and jump right in. The central message is not simply about feeling better about yourself. It is about fundamentally changing where you believe your value comes from and reclaiming the authority to define yourself. Self-worth is the doorway into a much larger transformation involving identity, freedom, responsibility, truth, and how you relate to yourself and the world. You have spent much of your life trying to answer the question, what must I become in order to deserve peace, love, respect, and the right to exist comfortably? The answer is the question itself is mistaken. Your worth has never depended on becoming someone else. It has always existed beneath the beliefs, roles, fears, and survival strategies that taught you otherwise. The work is not to become worthy. It is to uncover the worth that has always been there, by removing everything that has been mistaken for it. Everything else expands on this truth. And babies, if you've been here with me for a while, first off, thank you. But that really is the purpose in this shift in my approach to content, right? We went through some of the common wounds. We went deep with that. But there are things that have been built on top of those wounds. So it's not just enough for us to go to the wound and start to heal that. That is critical work that absolutely must be done. But I'm hearing fruit of the poison tree. So we had to go to the roots. And this is why we have to work our way back up, because basically the shit that was built on top of those wounds has those distortions. So we not only went to the roots, we are working our way back up so that we start, and we remove that shit, those distortions, those overlays. If those aren't making sense to you, don't worry about the terminology. Trust this process. But we have to remove the things that grew from it too, that are also inauthentic, that are not in alignment with our greatest and highest good. So that's why we dropped it low and now we're bringing it back up. All right. So maybe someone's shaking a lot of ass right now. I know I am too. Dancing's a great way to move some energy. So if you're feeling kind of little stagnant, a little shake that ass. Thank me later. All right? No one cares what you look like. No one does. If they do, fuck them. Not literally, figuratively. All right? Let's keep it moving. Your worth is inherent, not earned. The deepest misunderstanding is believing your worth is something that changes. You have learned to measure your value according to changing conditions, how productive you are, how successful you are, how intelligent you appear, how disciplined you are, how useful you are, how much you help others, how accepted you feel, how confident you are, or how few mistakes you make. All of these things change. Some days you will perform well. Some days you'll struggle. Some days you will feel confident. Some days you'll feel uncertain. Your mind has treated these changing experiences as measurements of something that is actually constant. Your abilities, emotions, health, relationships, energy, and circumstances change. And I'm hearing that's inevitable. Your worth does not. Say it again. Your worth does not change. Say that to yourself until you believe it. You can fail without becoming a failure. You can feel insecure without becoming an unworthy person. You can be confused without becoming less valuable. You can experience pain without losing your dignity. Your worth exists before achievement and remains after disappointment. All right. When I said that last line, I heard, I know that's right, but it was from the line from Cardi B's Up. So maybe some of you are shaking ass to Cardi B's Up. Maybe some of you need to shake ass to Cardi B's song Up. But yeah, I know that's right. All right. You learned to replace being with performing. Instead of learning that existing was enough, you learned that your value depended upon becoming the right kind of person. You learned to ask, am I good enough? Am I helpful enough? Am I responsible enough? Am I intelligent enough? Am I improving enough? Am I making people happy? Am I disappointing anyone? Instead of asking, who am I? What feels true? What matters to me? And babies, they're saying those are the questions. Those are the true questions. So let me say them again. The true questions are, who am I? What feels true? What matters to me? I'm going to be really honest, babies. These seasons of self-sacrifice, of people-pleasing, of putting everyone above yourself, that shit's done. They're saying that's dead. They want you to bury that version of you. I don't know why, but I just heard, time's up, motherfuckers. I don't know if that's significant for someone. Maybe someone says that. I don't know, but I heard that. So I personally haven't used that phrasing in a very long time, so that's a blast from the past for me. But yeah, they're just saying it's time for that version of you to go. And that is going to be part of the focus for part 3, is letting that version of you go with grace and thanks. And here's why, babies. Like, that version served you well. It did. It had a purpose. But they're saying it served its purpose. It doesn't have one anymore. And that's why you need to let it go. Let it go. It's not helping you anymore. It's hindering you. And some of you know that. And again, this is where more insight does not help. You need to take action. Set your intentions to bury that version of you, to let it go and fully let it go and back that shit up with actions. That's what we're going to go through in part 3. Thank you. Back at it. All right. Life slowly became a performance. Your identity became something to manage rather than something to experience. Instead of simply living, you became busy proving that you deserved to live comfortably. This created a system that could never produce lasting peace because every achievement simply created another condition to satisfy. Conditional self-worth will never, and I genuinely feel all the way down to my toes right now, never create lasting peace. Someone needs to hear that. There was always another standard, another improvement, another expectation, another version of yourself to become. And I'm hearing, aren't you exhausted yet? Aren't you exhausted? Many parts of your identity were built for survival. Many of the qualities you developed are real strengths. You may genuinely be thoughtful, kind, generous, responsible, insightful, disciplined, intelligent, dependable, emotionally aware. This message is not saying these qualities are false. It is asking a different question. Would these qualities still exist if you no longer needed them to earn acceptance? If the answer is yes, they are authentic parts of you. If the answer is no, they developed primarily as survival strategies. Neither is wrong. They want me to say it again. Neither is wrong. We do what we need to do to get through tough times. This is not about blame, shame, or judgment. It never will be on this channel. Fuck that shit. All right? But survival strategies should not be mistaken for identity. Helping others because you genuinely care is different from believing your right to belong depends upon never making mistakes. And who the hell is out here not making any mistakes? I mean, seriously, if you are actively living Mistakes are inevitable. All right. And I don't know who needs to hear it. Mistakes are mistakes. All right. You learn from them and you just try to do better and be better next time. That's really all there is. Perfectionism, in my opinion, is the easiest way to make sure you never live a full life. Why? Because you're just too scared to do anything. Some of you need, oh shit. Give me a sec. Some of you really need to take some, I forget which video it is now, but I had a video where I talked about you need to treat your solitude as sacred and you need to have time alone to yourself to reflect. Some of you, they're saying you're going to feel this in your heart space. Now I'm hearing you are going to feel it in your heart space. They said stop ignoring the signs. Why do I feel like someone's heart is going to pound real fucking hard for a very short period of time? That is your indicator. This is for you. Some of you need to sit in this solitude and genuinely think about where you are imprisoning yourself in your life. Some of you genuinely feel like you have no way out, and I am literally seeing a cage with the door open. And it's like you can leave at any time, but you need to decide you are leaving and take the action to actually leave, exit, walk out the damn door. All right? We are not taking shit from no one today. I can feel that energy. Some of you need to really do it. Is it more painful to Is it more painful to hold up this false image of things are great? I'm hearing we're happy. Things are, like, it's just like, I'm hearing facade. It's like the whole thing's just a fucking facade. So is it more painful to hold up the facade and keep that show, that performance going? Or are you going to just be like, you know what, this doesn't work. We need to admit it. We need to face this, and it's whatever happens, happens, and I'll just deal with it as it comes. But I'm getting the fuck out of here. That's significant for someone. All right. Lastly, growth involves discovering who you are underneath the adaptations. The adaptations are not who you are. They're what you felt you needed to become in order to get through whatever you were going through. That's why we are doing these series, to pull those adaptations off of you. All right? Your sense of worth became tied to your function. Without realizing it, you developed hidden equations. They sound like, if I'm useful, I'll matter. If I care for everyone else, someone will eventually care for me. If I become exceptional enough, I will finally feel safe. If I carry enough responsibility, I will earn rest. If I become wise enough, I won't be rejected. If I become successful enough, I'll deserve peace. These equations quietly shape your life. The problem isn't helping, responsibility, or ambition. The problem is believing they determine whether you deserve love or peace. When usefulness becomes identity, rest feels selfish. Receiving feels uncomfortable. Needing help feels shameful. And saying no feels dangerous. And I'm hearing just because they feel this way does not mean that is actually what they truly are. They showed me a shattered mirror, a mirror that just shatters. And they're saying you need to shatter those illusions. They are not true. They are illusions. Let them go. You mistook competence for safety. There appears to be an unconscious belief that enough competence will eventually make life safe. You keep improving because you hope that one more skill, one more insight, one more achievement, or one more level of understanding will finally remove uncertainty. But uncertainty cannot be eliminated. Life will always contain loss, change, mistakes, misunderstandings, uncertainty, and vulnerability. Babies, they're saying it's just part of the experience. Again, these things are inevitable. Talk to anyone, everyone, without question, doubt, or hesitation has at least one of these categories that they identify with. If people are being really honest with themselves, we all have multiple stories that align to multiple of these categories. All right, you don't need a bingo card from me. I have covered all this shit and I've looped the block multiple times. All right, none of this is about perfection. The search for perfect competence is actually a search for guaranteed safety. No amount of improvement can guarantee safety. It cannot provide that. And I'm hearing, and it never will. Shatter the illusion. I don't know why this is coming through, but I like this album and I love that song. So I'm gonna throw it out there. Somebody could be listening to a lot of Billy Joel. I heard the opening from You May Be Right, where it's from the album Glass House or Glass Houses. Don't quote me on that and don't come for me, all right? I listen to a shit ton of music, all right? But yeah, Glass Houses, and it starts with the shattering, like the album cover, I'm pretty sure is a picture of Billy Joel holding a rock in front of a glass house, getting ready to launch it. And with You May Be Right, the first thing you hear is glass shatter. So someone could be listening to a lot of Billy Joel, somebody could be listening to that album, somebody could be listening to that song I'm also hearing, or that song may be chasing you, or songs from that album may be chasing you. I don't know. I work here. Take that if that resonates. Leave it if it doesn't. Peace comes from learning to live with uncertainty rather than trying to eliminate it. You have been living under constant self-evaluation. Your attention has been turned inward in an unhealthy way. You continually monitor yourself. You evaluate what you say, how you appear, whether people approve, whether you are enough, whether you are progressing, whether you are disappointing someone. Life gradually became less about living and more about grading yourself. Eventually, you stop experiencing yourself directly. And we have talked about this before on this channel, and they said, I don't care if you've heard this message before, you gonna hear it again. Instead, you experience yourself through continuous judgment. This is exhausting. And some of you are wondering why you're so tired. If this resonates and you felt that, that is contributing to it. Absolutely. Much of what feels like low self-worth is actually the exhaustion of never allowing yourself to simply exist without evaluation. And babies, I'm just hearing this world judges you enough, right? There's like, everyone's a fucking critic. Everyone's got the opportunity to be a critic, and some people take advantage of that shit way more than they ever should, right? Because who is genuinely perfect out here? All right. And they're saying, don't join them. Don't join them, especially when it comes to yourself. Be your best friend first. Seriously, babies, if you feel like you have no one in your corner, 10 fucking toes down, bitch. Be your best friend. Have your own back. Advocate for yourself. It starts with you. Again, this resilience energy is coming through. I'm hearing fuck what you heard. That's what you feeling. DMX. What is that gonna give it to you? Yeah, fuck what you heard. And actually, it's funny. The next line is, it's what you, what is it? Is it what you feeling or what you hearing? Again, don't come for me. My music taste is everywhere. I think it's what you hearing. It's what you hearing. But anywho, be in your own corner. Always be in your corner first. I don't know who that's for. Babies, if you don't have, I'm just hearing, if you don't have your spine, don't worry, hang around here long enough. You're going to find that shit and use it. All right? You learned to look outside yourself for evidence of your value. Instead of looking inward, go within, babies. Build this damn resilience within yourself. Instead of looking inward, your attention became focused on external confirmation. You searched for worth through achievement, recognition, relationships, being needed, being admired, being useful, being successful, being understood. These things can be meaningful, but they cannot answer an internal question. Every external confirmation fades. Every one of them, babies. Then the search begins again. This message repeatedly redirects your attention inward. It starts with you. And why do you need to shift from external to internal? Because, babies, the way, and some of you are really starting to clock this shit. Some of you are starting to tune into it, and I'm hearing good. But this world, this experience is really designed to distract, to scatter your energy. Hey, what's over here? Hey, what's over here? Hey, what's over here? Hey, what's over here? Right? Think about how many fucking advertisements you can see on any given day, right? What's this? What's this? What's this? Right? So that's why all that external shit fades, right? Some people go viral and fall off the fucking planet, right? They're still here, but they had their moment and then that's it. Why? Because attention is fickle here, right? It really is. Think about it. And if you're being really honest, You'll know there's truth in that, even if you don't like it. That's why you have to go within. You need to cultivate it within yourself. So when that external shit shifts up, and it will, that you still have this resilient self-worth that you are grounded in. And it doesn't matter. Why? Because you have always been worthy. You will always be worthy. No question or doubt. Ooh, they got me on my soapbox today, and I'm pumped up. I could kick that whole thing the fuck over right now. Whew. All right. Again, this message repeatedly redirects your attention inward, not towards self-absorption, toward self-recognition. Self-recognition. It starts with you. It needs to remain with you. It will always truly be sourced from you. I'm hearing stop giving your power away to these people, places, and things. Knock that shit the full fuck off. Woo. I'm gonna drink some water. You have been living through roles rather than identity. Many identities you carry are actually roles. The helper, the responsible one, the wise one, the peacemaker, the dependable one, the strong one, the problem solver, the thoughtful one. Roles are useful, but they are not who you are. They're functions, babies. They're functions. When your identity depends on a role, you become frightened whenever you cannot perform it. If the helper needs help, who are they? If the strong one breaks down, who are they? And babies, I don't know who needs to hear this, but everybody needs help. Everybody needs help. And you are still strong if you identify as the strong one who broke down. Babies, no one can be strong all the time. Again, it goes back to everyone needs help at some point. Everyone. There's no exception. I am no exception to this either. Okay? And if you're going through that experience and you feel like you're not getting the support you need, first off, my heart goes out to you because I've been there. Second of all, they want you to process how you feel, own how you feel, and they're saying you will naturally get to a point where you can look at this more objectively down the road, and they really want you to look at that experience as information. Who showed up for you, who did not. And I'm hearing especially look at the ones who really knew what you were going through. They want you to reevaluate your circle. Some of you, and again, if you're going through this, my heart goes out to you, babies. Some of you are going through some tough experiences right now, and it's because your guides and your ancestors want you to look at when you feel like your back is really against the wall, who is there and who is not. Whenever you watch this is reevaluation season for you. Who's staying, who's going. I'm hearing who deserves to still sit at your table and who does not. Big judgment energy. Big judgment energy. And I'm just hearing choose wisely. And I'm hearing follow your heart. Follow your heart, because for some of you, your mind is trying to convince you that certain things fit. And I'm hearing in your heart, in your body, you just know. You know it's not. And again, they're saying you don't have to cut everyone off at once. Some of you will. Handle it how you see fit. But others of you will just gradually start putting that space in and letting people just gently fade from your life. And they're saying that's fine. All right, let me get back to it. The invitation is to discover the person who remains when no role is being performed. That person is much closer to your authentic identity. And for some of you, that is part of why you are going through some of these harder experiences right now, is because you need to drop those roles. They are inauthentic to you, and you need to see how people react when you cannot fulfill them. And I'm hearing for them. For them. You have been solving an emotional problem with your intellect. Thinking has become one of your primary coping strategies. That's why you need to focus on how you feel with these people. Mind can play tricks on you. Body doesn't lie. I don't know who needs to hear that, but some of you are shifting from mind into body, and I'm hearing yes, yes, yes. Follow that shit. Trust that shit. I'm hearing you've been working toward this for a while. Trust your heart. Trust your body. Some of you, your body's going to start tensing up around certain people. Pay the fuck attention. Your body is going to start telling you who you need to keep both eyes on. I'm going to leave that there. You analyze, reflect, study, understand, evaluate, reason, and seek insight. These are valuable abilities, but your mind has been trying to solve a problem it cannot solve alone. It keeps asking, what insight will finally make me feel worthy? Understanding can open the door, but worth is not created through perfect understanding. It is experienced when you stop treating your existence as something that must constantly be justified. Eventually, living differently becomes more important than thinking differently. Babies, we are in embodiment season. I don't know who needs to hear that. I've been saying that so much. You know what? Pay me $1 every time I say the word embodiment from this moment forward, because bitch, I'm gonna be rich, not just in spirit, but in all shit. All right, and the good stuff, hold the other stuff. All right, if you are not taking action and living differently, doing differently, I'm just hearing, is not gonna count. Now, I don't know how many times they're going to make me say this. That's why I threw some money on it, because I'm a little sick of saying this. So you know what? Pay me. It'll make it easier for me. All right? But yeah, some of you are still trying to think your way through shit you got to physically move through. Again, I said this in part 3 of Desire. Put your ass to work. I don't know who needs to hear that. Maybe some of you need to go listen to part 3 of Desire. Put that ass to work, not just dancing. Not just dancing. They're saying the dancing is fine, but you got to do more. All right? You already possess inner wisdom, but you have not fully trusted it. There is a quieter part of you that has always known when something feels true. I'm going to throw this fucking notebook. Body, babies. Someone could be listening to Tove Lo, Talking Body. Your body, you're going to feel this in your chest. Your body is talking to you. And again, they're pulling me back to part 3 of Desire because I talked about this there. Some of you need to go watch it. If you skipped that and you watched part 1 and part 2, I'm here and finish what you started. I'm going to stay out of that. All right? But your body is talking to you. That is the quieter part of you. Babies, the loudest shit you hear is not always the most important. I don't know who needs to hear that. Your body is talking to you. That is the quiet part of you that knows your truth. Whew. Whew. All right. We're going to keep it moving because I ain't going to shout. It notices authenticity. It recognizes when something is emotionally healthy. It senses when something is out of alignment. I could kick a door off its hinges right now, but I'm not. The problem is not lack of intuition. You already know. You often notice something accurately, then immediately question yourself. You explain away your own perception. You seek someone else's confirmation. You override your own knowing. And I'm here to knock that shit off right now. The work is not developing intuition. It is rebuilding trust in it. And some of you need to genuinely get out of your mind and move back into your body. Your body and your mind update at different levels. There can be lags between what your body knows and what your mind is willing to accept. All right. And it's funny because I just had a conversation with a friend last night where I was like, I am really sick of how the soul, your essence, updates at one level, the body lags behind that, and then the mind lags behind that. Like, what the fuck kind of show we running here? Update yourselves. Get in alignment. This shit's ridiculous. All right. And I stand by that. I still feel that way. But some of you need to understand. You need to move out of the mind and into your body because that is the actual order shit updates. Starts high, goes into the body, and then eventually the mind catches up. Body. Trust your body over your mind. And I'm not saying punt your mind all the way to the side. No. Balance. But understand, your body will recognize shit before your mind recognizes it, accepts it, and updates itself. All right? That is why insight cannot override action. Action requires the body. For some of you, the more you move your body, the You'll get more clarity in the mind. That's going to be specific for someone. Let me get back to this. Your deepest beliefs are learned, not objective. Many conclusions about yourself feel like facts. They are not. They are inherited interpretations. Beliefs such as, I have to earn love. I have to prove my worth. I am not enough. I am too much. I'm behind. I shouldn't take up space. My needs matter less. These beliefs became familiar. Because they became familiar, they started feeling true. Keyword is feeling. They're not actually true. Growth begins when you question them instead of automatically obeying them. Ask, who taught me this? Is it actually true? Would I say this to someone I love? Who benefits from me believing this? Many beliefs lose their power simply by being examined honestly. You carry responsibility that was never yours. You often assume responsibility for other people's happiness, emotions, comfort, growth, expectations, disappointment. You may believe that if someone around you suffers, you should somehow be able to fix it. Compassion does not require ownership. Say it again. Compassion does not require ownership. You can care deeply without carrying responsibility for another person's emotional life. For some of you, and I'm saying this with love, but I'm hearing it clear as day. For some of you, you really want to get to the next step of your development, and I'm hearing clear as fucking day. Your guides and your ancestors are absolutely blocking that shit on purpose until you can master this. So I'm going to say it one more time. You can care deeply without carrying responsibility for another person's emotional life. The next chapter you're trying to move into requires a certain level of self-mastery. You cannot carry this old shit into that new timeline. They are purposely blocking your ass. Why? Because if you got there, I'm hearing you'd still be carrying all these motherfuckers, and they would never learn. So they're holding your ass in place until you figure that out. And they're saying, we are doing this with love. This is for your greatest and highest good. And I honestly, your ancestors are funny because I just heard, we don't give a shit how you feel about it. It is what it is. Again, action. Show us that you are capable of doing this. If you take no action, you move no further until you do this. Monopoly could be significant. I'm hearing do not pass go, do not collect $200. They are not saying go to jail. They're just saying do not pass go, do not collect $200. Your ass is going to stay where you're at. Healthy Healthy boundaries are not selfish. They are honest, and they are for your greatest and highest good. There is an inner force that pushes relentlessly. Part of you believes that constant pressure is necessary. It says, do more, know more, improve more, control more, never relax, never stop, never fall behind. This part believes it is protecting you. It fears that if it stops pushing, everything will collapse. It developed for understandable reasons. It does not need to disappear. It simply cannot remain in charge. It can become an advisor instead of a ruler. Again, this is that inner authority, that inner critic. You have to take it off its throne, it's like a dictator type of thing. You have to put it on a council. Gotta take it off that pedestal and make sure that it's only one voice of many that gets taken into consideration. And I don't know who needs to hear this, and I don't care what anyone else tells you as someone who has done this work and refines this work. You cannot eliminate that inner authority, that inner critic. You must integrate it. Some of you are running from shadow work and wondering why shit keeps falling apart, or you keep having experiences that you don't like. It's because you need to turn around and face that shit. This is the season where those who are running from shadow work are going to straight up not have a good time. And when I'm recording this video, it's summertime here, and I just heard, we don't give a shit that it's summer. We don't give a shit that it's summer. It is harvest season. What have you been working toward? Because that's what you're going to reap. You've been running away from your shadow work. You're going to reap that shit coming back in your face so that you actually turn around and address it. All right. There is grief beneath the striving. Constant self-improvement often hides grief. Grief that you never felt enough. Grief over acceptance that felt conditional. Grief over unmet emotional needs. Grief over years spent trying to become acceptable. If the striving slows down, this grief may become more visible. That does not mean slowing down was wrong. It means something important is finally asking to be felt instead of avoided. This is the season to stop running from shit you know needs to be faced. And the entire time I was reading that section and I was channeling the fucking crows who basically live here on my property, just would not stop going off. I heard them going the entire time I read that. So blackbirds could be significant. Crows could be significant. I'm hearing ravens could be significant. All right. If you don't understand the significance of those, you can Google them because there's a few. But I just heard another one make a noise. So they're like, I know that's right. So, all right, let's keep it moving. You have been preparing for a future that never arrives. You postpone peace. I'll rest when. I'll trust myself when. I'll enjoy life when. I'll love myself when. The conditions continually move. The destination never arrives. The issue is not achievement. It is permission. You have delayed giving yourself permission to live peacefully. And I'm hearing no one told you to do that. Again, that is an illusion. You can drop that at any time. Your guides and your ancestors are like, please let that go. Please let that go. Because you make it harder for them to bring that experience into you and align that shit to you if you're carrying these beliefs. You have always been worthy. You always will be worthy. Give yourself permission. Align your actions to this peaceful life. They need your help. They need your commitment. They need your consistent action. You are a co-creator of your experience. They need you to act like it. Even if you don't fully believe it yet, they said fake it till you make it. Because you know what? You take enough action, your mind will catch up in time. You fear that self-acceptance will end growth. Part of you believes if I stop criticizing myself, I'll become lazy. If I stop pushing myself, I'll stop growing. If I accept myself, I'll lose my ambition. This is not supported by this message. Fear has been confused with motivation. Pressure has been confused with discipline. Self-attack has been confused with accountability. Healthy growth comes from clarity, curiosity, and purpose, not from constantly proving your worth. Mistakes are information, not identity. When your worth depends on performance, every mistake feels like proof that something is wrong with you. The healthier perspective is different. Mistakes reveal where learning is needed. They do not reveal your value. You remain responsible for your actions. And I'm hearing not taking action is action. All right? I don't know who needs to hear that. You remain responsible for your actions. You repair what needs repairing. You learn. You apologize when necessary, and I'm hearing sincerely. I'm hearing mean it or don't bother with it. I don't know who that's for, but. And you grow. Again, you just try to do better and be better the next time. No one is expecting perfection. And if they are, reevaluate that person, because what planet are you actually on where that is possible? Because I know it's not this one. I know it's not. All right? That level of delusion serves no one. None of this requires deciding that you are fundamentally defective. There is a profound difference between I made a mistake and I am the mistake. The first supports growth. The second prevents it. Some parts of yourself have been rejected instead of understood. This is that shadow work. I don't know who needs to hear that, but I heard, listen up. There are parts of yourself you have likely judged as unacceptable. And I want to be very clear. Everyone has shadow work. Everyone has shadow aspects. Again, that level of delusion of, I don't have any shadow stuff, does not serve anyone. All right? Because I'm hearing, even if you've already integrated your shadow, there are, on this journey, there tends to be different layers of it that reappear. Again, that's not a sign of failure. It's a sign of you have reached a new level of depth that needs to be examined. Everybody does shadow work, or everyone has shadow aspects. Not everyone's going to do the work, and I will honor that, but everyone has shadow aspects. All right? Perhaps it's anger, ambition, competitiveness, the desire to be recognized, the desire to be cared for, healthy selfishness, sexuality. I'm also hearing sensuality. They are not the same. Google that if you're not aware. Assertiveness, fear, jealousy, grief, the wish to say no. These parts are not necessarily problems. Often they are carrying legitimate needs in distorted forms. Babies, there is viable energy. There is your living force that is in there. That is why we do that shadow work. We look at the distortions. We let them go, and we reclaim the energy contained within it that serves our greatest and highest good, and we bring that into ourselves. That is how we move into wholeness. You cannot have wholeness if you do not re-examine and bring these things in. All right? I don't care what anyone says. You cannot have wholeness if you only look at the light aspects of yourself. You must look at the shadow. You cannot balance out these polarities. You cannot come to neutral with things if you are completely ignoring aspects of yourself. Suppression serves no one. Anger may be protecting boundaries. Envy may reveal unlived desires. Fear may be protecting vulnerability. The goal is not to eliminate these parts. It is to understand them and integrate them into a healthier whole. Wholeness is not achieved by cutting pieces away. It is achieved by bringing them into honest relationship with the rest of you. There is no other way, babies. There is no other way. Either you're willing to do the work or you have to accept that you're going to stay right where you are. There's no in between. You cannot bypass that work and get to wholeness. All right? Your greatest prison is unquestioned thinking. The strongest limitations are often invisible because they feel normal. The prison is built from assumptions like, I must earn my place. I must deserve love. I cannot disappoint anyone. I must always be useful. I have to justify existing. The danger is not simply believing negative things. The danger is believing them without ever questioning them. Freedom begins with examination. Comparison keeps the entire system alive. Whether you compare yourself as better or worse than others, the result is the same. Your worth becomes dependent on rank. One voice says, I'm less than. Another says, I must become more than. Both are trapped in the same system. They're just different poles, different ends of the spectrum. They're both extremes. Worth cannot be found through comparison because comparison never ends. It's conditional. There will always be something else to compare to. You are being invited to become internally governed. There are two ways to live. Externally governed. Your identity depends on approval, success, reputation, productivity, comparison, and recognition. Second one is internally governed. Your choices are guided by truth, integrity, wisdom, compassion, curiosity, and what genuinely aligns with your values. The movement is away from asking, what will people think, toward asking, what is true? What is honest? What kind of person do I want to be? You are reclaiming authority over your own life. The deeper issue is authority. Who decides your value? Is it your past, your failures, your family, society, your achievements, other people's opinions? This message answers none of them. Absolutely none of them. Stop giving your power away. You are being invited to become the person who decides what success means, what enough means, what matters, which beliefs deserve to remain, Which expectations deserve to be released? I'm hearing clear as day, you are not carrying everything you currently hold forward with you to the next phase. I don't know who needs to hear that, but I'm hearing that is a hard no, a hard stop. The goal is wholeness, not perfection. You have divided yourself into categories: the acceptable self, the unacceptable self, the successful self, the failed self, the spiritual self, the emotional self, the confident self, the fearful self. This message consistently moves toward ending these divisions. Again, babies, that is light and shadow. Those are polarities. They're extremes of the same system at different ends. You become whole by recognizing that every part belongs to you. I don't care how ugly it is. I've absolutely made my way through some fucking sludge of my own. All right? It is not about rejecting. It is not about suppressing aspects of yourself. That is not the path forward. Good luck if you want to give it a whirl. All right? Not every part should lead your life, but every part deserves understanding. When you face this shit and you understand it and you can integrate it, all right, and let those distortions go, that is how you balance this shit out. That is how you bring it to neutral. Okay? Wholeness requires honesty, not perfection. You need honesty when you are doing shadow work. You absolutely do. Not everything you're going to look at, you're proud of. Not all of it is going to be pretty, but it needs to be examined. Because I don't know who needs to hear this, but if you don't look at that shit, it runs your experience. You don't run it. You must look at it. Because once you understand it and you understand what is driving that, you can take action, which can allow you to produce different outcomes. Presence replaces performance. Much of your life has been organized around doing more, helping more, improving more, thinking more, achieving more. The invitation is toward being present, being honest, being balanced, being grounded, being fully yourself. Action continues. Growth continues. Responsibility continues. But they become expressions of who you already are instead of attempts to prove you deserve to exist. The final synthesis. At its deepest level, this message invites a complete shift in your relationship with yourself. You have been trying to become someone who deserves peace. You have treated your life as a project that must be completed before you are allowed to rest. You have confused performance with identity, competence with safety, self-criticism with discipline, usefulness with worth, and survival strategies with your authentic self. You have looked to achievement, approval, comparison, knowledge, and service to answer a question they can never answer. The invitation is to stop asking, what must I become to become enough, and begin living from a different understanding. Because you exist, you already possess inherent dignity and worth. Because you exist, babies. Nothing you achieve can increase it, and nothing you fail at can erase it. From that foundation, growth does not end. It changes. You continue to learn, create, serve, repair mistakes, pursue excellence, set boundaries, and deepen your wisdom. But these are no longer attempts to earn your humanity. They become natural expressions of it. The path forward is not becoming a different person. It is removing the beliefs, roles, fears, and conditions that convinced you your value had to be earned, so that the person who has always been there can finally live without needing to justify their right to exist. They said end it there. So babies, that is what I have for you for part 2 on self-worth. Tune in on Friday for part 3. We'll take a look at what needs to be done, what changes do we need to make to embody genuine, true, authentic, internal, resilient self-worth. Tune in if that resonates with you, and if not, that's okay. Just know it'll be there if or when you decide you're ready. All right, take care of yourselves, beautiful beings. Until next time, bye.